a
dude,
bear. See, I have the bear mugs.
yeah, dude, I want to actually, do you know what I want to get? I used to
What?
have a Bitcoin mug, but I want to get a mug with the stock market guy.
So, one of my sons bought me for Christmas.
Mm.
They bought me a Bitcoin bear mug.
A Bitcoin bear mug. Yes.
So it's in my freezer, staying nice and chilled.
To remind you.
But, I like to give my liver a break every year. So right now I'm doing dry January. No alcohol for the month of January.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Gives your liver a break.
Yeah. I got
So
this. I got this
no way.
little emblem
I
that
like it.
I got this from a buddy of mine. I
I
keep it right
like
next
it.
to me to remind me. And then I just
Yeah.
recently I got the bull and the bear to remind me in the back.
You can't have one without the other.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
The bull and the bear will always be, no matter what.
yes.
It's just when. We will wait and see. Anyways, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are having an awesome day, awesome week, awesome beginning of the new year as we are currently 6 days into it. And
Right.
we've had some crazy fluctuation in the market, as you guys probably have seen. Um, oh, this is something I wanted us to look up. Um, we talked about it last week, actually. I was curious if it's always in the charts every year to have some kind of a crash, like a decent crash. We had a decent crash, you know, that happens right in January or right after the new year, because I think it does. But
Huh.
I could be wrong.
Do you
But
want to just look at that right now?
let's take a look at that because I'm
All
just
right.
curious if history is repeating itself or is this, just something that happens
All right. So,
randomly. But I'm pretty sure that we have some form of a decent crash after every new year.
or within the first, see, I thought similarly, but I was thinking like within the first 6 weeks, do we
Yeah,
have a crash? Something along those lines. And it's not necessarily a crash either,
right, right.
so, but here's the Bitcoin weekly chart. So I'm gonna just go to the day chart and just look at every January. So here we are. That might not even be. I got to go back to
Look at that thing bouncing off is it, what is this?
that's the 20-day.
Yeah,
All right. I should
she
where do I need
bounced
to go?
right off the
January
20
of
day.
2023. I want to zoom in that section.
Yeah, exact. Yeah,
Right. So
you got February.
so I wonder, so here's this area is right here. Here's so January of 23, it did a little different. The first the first, 6 weeks, it went up. I mean, it did go up from the, January 10th pretty much to, February 2nd was it just straight up, just up. But then I had a correction a little bit. And then, yeah, what was that?
Right, but that
Huh.
correction, I mean that
That's
that just
but this one right here.
but here's what I'm trying to get at though. If you go back to September,
So that was a 20% drop there,
well, look at November actually.
but that was the end of February into March. So remember I said I don't think it's an actual 4-year cycle. I
Yeah.
wonder, I don't know. But that was last year. Let's look at the year before, unless you got a question in that
Well,
area
no,
right.
look at that. Look at September. Because well, something happened there. And or November, I mean.
Yeah, this was FTX.
That was FTX right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was.
So the FTX thing, that kind of hurt the market like, well, Bitcoin 25%.
Yeah, that was the final push down right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was crazy. So
Right.
that one, okay, so
So
you'd say so you'd call that one a little early, I guess. But I mean,
who
because
knows?
usually November is pretty good.
Right. Well, this was November of 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I'm
So,
just
oh, I
saying,
see what you're saying. So, like
yeah.
November of, yeah. So November of 2023. Well, it's a different time in the cycle too, though,
Well,
right?
okay, but here's the thing.
Let's,
These are the keys that we're like, let's look at the Novembers, let's look at January and
all
see what
right,
happens.
all
But,
right,
you
all
know,
right. So now I'm going to go to January of 21. Here we are, and this is during the bear market,
yeah,
right?
so I mean, you're gonna
So
have some inevitable
I
down.
mean, the whole month of January, well, most 3 weeks of January, it went down quite a bit. So that's kind of like this January. No, we're down. Well, the market went down 10% or so. So that's 20% there.
But
But
granted, November wasn't terrible, was it? Or did it
no,
start to
no. November,
October?
so November went up
So that
the
was
first week.
yeah,
But
that was actually the peak right there for that.
yeah, well, that was the peak of the bear bull market right there.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah,
Which I did call that one, by the way.
you did.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to look at. So like real quick, since we got that, I want to compare the bull market. Well, what am I trying to get at? Why can't I move? I'm having morning. Yeah. So the bear market, hold on, where was I going? I just totally got lost.
Well,
It's
you want to
early
look
in the
at
morning.
the bull market and the
The
bear
difference,
market.
I don't know. So here's Bitcoin, right? USD. Actually, yeah, that's what I want to look at. So Bitcoin peaked, you know, peaked on November 10th of 2021, right? But
Yeah.
now I'm going to go to total. I'm going to go to total two and see when that's just the rest of the market, but not Bitcoin, altcoin market. When did that peak,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So let me did it peak at the same time or where did my data go? Oh, here it is. Right. So here, so that's January, right? Let me go. I'm going to go to the daily again. Right. Uh, so now the daily that peaked and it was a red wick. Oh, that was why does it look different? It's I don't know. I'm lost now. I thought it was different. I thought it was January. The daily says November, but the weekly is January,
Hmm.
right? Wasn't the weekly January?
Yeah. Well, I don't know actually, to be honest with you, but I think you're probably right.
Well, here's the that's the month of January right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Whereas what I'm trying to get at is we're going to have Bitcoin peak, but the altcoin market um, is going to peak a month or two after Bitcoin.
Mm.
That's what I was trying to get at.
It'd
That's
be actually kind of sweet to actually look at a Bitcoin versus altcoin chart.
well, I can do BTC versus Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean that kind of helps, but it's
Uh,
different. It's not like if you were
Let me
to
see.
look, if you were to actually get like the total market cap chart in altcoins versus BTC,
Well, let me do this. So let me
or if
do
there's like a Bitcoin dominance
BTC.
chart.
Well, there's oh yeah, there's a Bitcoin. Yeah, that's right.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that dropped off in 2021.
Right. So yeah, here's
I would argue that the Bitcoin dominance is actually getting worse and worse.
right now.
Well, not right now. I'm just saying in general, as a whole,
Right. So
which is really
so the
interesting.
Bitcoin dominance peaked like in December of 20,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
And it's
then
actually been working its way back up. It's above the
so to me,
it had a golden cross recently. Is that true?
not on the weekly. Still, we still haven't had it right here. You can
Okay.
see the 20-day moving average went above the 200, but on the on the daily, it came and tested the 200 as support, 200-day moving average as support, and bounced right off of it. So I don't think Bitcoin's done going up yet
No. Okay, actually I take it
on
back.
dominance,
The
right?
dominance chart actually does not look like it's going down.
Right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I was
So
just looking at it from a whole perspective.
I
It has literally been since 2021 to now
I mean, I really
that
look at
Bitcoin is
this
finally above all of the mountains that it's fallen from, you know? Like
45, yeah, 45,000. It pushed above it real quick. It's got to break through that. And once we break through 45, which it could happen soon,
it just makes you
we're
wonder,
going to see this go
can
up.
you
So
really zoom
I
out?
can foresee Bitcoin getting up to 60% dominance.
But really zoom out though for a second. I want to see like multiple years on this thing. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see now this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I don't think you're ever gonna see I don't know if you're ever gonna see 2017 ever again.
Oh, this? No, that's gone. We will never see that.
That is gone forever.
That's gone
I
forever.
think. So
So,
that's all I was trying to get at. That was my
yeah.
whole point.
Oh, okay.
Like, like yeah, we might get above.
So I can see us getting back up to here.
Yeah.
And what will drive that is the Bitcoin ETFs and the halving. And that's just going to drive that probably through, you know, until the probably late fall or through, somewhere in there or into the end of the year, into 2024 and then 2025. We're going to
Yeah.
see this just go shoo, and the
Well,
altcoins go shoo,
jeez and crow.
like my sound
Well,
effects.
check this. Yeah. Shoot.
So
All right.
anyway, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
let me take
these,
over for a second because I want to show you something.
all right.
Because I want to get into some of the news for this headline. So you got the spot Bitcoin ETF. So US spot Bitcoin ETF could win approval next week. Huge news.
Nice.
After last minute application updates. January 5th returns, investment management firm stock exchanges and US Securities and Exchange Commissions on Friday decides a final wording changes on filling for the spot Bitcoin ETF, a step that could lead to US approval for the funds of the first time next week. Sources familiar with the matter says, all right. So the SEC official, I just want to see if it actually has, must submit approval according to, okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this might actually happen for real.
Yeah, I
And
know.
actually, I wanted to, hold on. I think I have to stop screen sharing this so that we can listen to this. But I want us to listen to this for a second because I think it's going to be really interesting to hear this. I haven't heard this yet to be so um
Yeah, I have a couple of things I found on ETFs after I can share as well.
all right. Tell me if you can hear this at all.
ETF. No one
Yes,
has
we
a
can.
crystal ball,
Okay.
but based on what is known, what do you expect to happen next week?
I expect we're going to get approval for the very first Bitcoin spot ETF. It really is quite epic. I mean, just a few months ago, most people that I knew were saying it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And now it looks like it actually will. Of course, it's not a
By the way, the lady who's speaking right now is Noelle Arshin or Archison, and she's the author of Crypto is Micro Now or Macro Now. So if you guys ever want to check out that book, this is the author of that.
Yeah.
And this is being broadcasted on CNBC.
done deal. We can't say 100% certain that we're going to get it next week, but it would be really, really aggressive move from the SEC were they to pull the rug now. I have been thinking a bit about what the worst case scenario would be. Obviously, the worst case scenario would be the SEC being totally aggressive and at the same time canceling the Bitcoin futures ETF so that we couldn't then say that it's inconsistent. They've never done that before, though. That is not even a 1% likelihood. If they really wanted to play dirty, they could delay again. That's possible. It would mean some scrambling on the part of the ARC ETF, for instance. Maybe they'd have to refile. Who knows? It's most likely that the SEC will give the green light next week, because not doing so is just going to create a colossal amount of work for the SEC, which, as they have often reminded us, is understaffed.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what the impetus would be to play dirty at this point.
It would be the SEC not having read through all of the documents, having perhaps some internal discussions they still want to have, or perhaps just being thoroughly pissed off with the entire industry. But I'm not saying that the SEC is unprofessional, but that would be the impetus. So the most practical reason would be that they haven't had time to go through the documents. But again, I think that's very unlikely. The most practical thing to do now, the most efficient and the safest politically for the SEC, is just to approve these already.
There was a survey out by Bitwise. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I thought it was really interesting, a survey of advisors. And my takeaway from it was that many advisors are still thinking there is not going to be an approval, but that if there was, they would be very interested in helping their clients allocate through an ETF. What did you make of that survey?
We do have to bear in mind that most advisors don't follow crypto. Most, as we saw from the survey, in fact, which is an incredible document. I recommend everyone read it if they can. It shows that most advisors are not interested in crypto. Something like 70% have not allocated clients to crypto, and no, even more than that. Sorry, something like 90% have not, and 70% of those have no intention of doing so. So they're not following this, obviously. Otherwise, a much higher percentage than 40% would believe that we do have one coming. It is interesting that many of them say those that are planning to allocate are waiting for an ETF. Well, there's a solution to that. If I can throw in one more thing about that really interesting document you mentioned there, Tanaya, and that is, the most interesting part of that, always, every year, is the barriers to investment. That is the key of this document, for me anyway. And the big takeaway this time is that one of the key barriers, which is lack of a liquid, reliable, exchange-traded vehicle through which to get exposure, well, that barrier is probably about to be removed. And other barriers, such as lack of regulatory
I think it's already
clarity,
been removed.
there's progress on that. It's slow and excruciating, but it is progressing. Others are the volatility. Fair enough. That's what investors' advisors have to take into account their clients' needs, and many of them can't really
So it's going to get approved.
volatility. Fair enough, but
I think it's going to get approved because what barriers.
But if it doesn't, I found something that a couple city alum are getting together, and they found this. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Go for it.
Wait till you check this out.
But really, she's right when you think about it.
So I find this article that it says city alum plan Bitcoin securities that don't need SEC approval. I'm like, what is this?
Oh my word, what does this
right?
mean?
So as speculation about upcoming approval or denial of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, this group is going to start a new offering called Bitcoin depository receipts. Will be similar to American depository receipts. So I'm like, what is a suppository? American suppository, American depository receipt. So I looked that up. And it's a way that companies, this right here, the term American Depository Receipts, ADR, refers to negotiable certificates issued by the U.S. Depository Bank representing a specific number of shares, usually one share of a foreign company's stock. The ADR trades on the U.S. stock markets as any domestic shares would. The ADRs offer U.S. investors, and this is the key point, a way to purchase stock in overseas companies that will not otherwise be available. Foreign films also benefit, as ADRs enable them to attract American investors and capital without the hassle of expense of listing on U.S. stock exchanges. So it doesn't even need an ETF. And this is a way that people could get around it. And I found out just recently too, foreign films is huge. Like India has a huge foreign film market. So,
Right.
I mean, this is, another way that American investors can get involved with Bitcoin by using these depository receipts. So I found that pretty interesting. And right here, it even says, let's see, the startup called the Receipts Depository Corporation, or RDC, said it plans to issue the first Bitcoin depository receipts to qualified global institutional investors in transactions exempt from registration under the Securities Act of 1933. So they don't have to register it with the SEC. They can just go ahead and, sounds like, pretty much do it. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
regulations they got to follow still, but there's nothing that's stopping them from doing it. So I
Yeah,
found that pretty cool.
Dude, everything is lining up. That's just what it comes down to. I mean, it's all lined up. You have multiple exchanges that Bitcoin and Ethereum is on.
Right.
To me, in my opinion, the spot Bitcoin ETF is going to take place, but
Oh, yeah.
I think that there will
And so
be
this is the thing.
Ethereum ETF that's going to come right into fruition as well,
Right.
alongside, because it's
Probably
going
in
to need
April,
it.
probably several months later. But you look at this, I found this on CoinDesk. It's about the companies that all are filing for the ETFs, and it's the fees that they're going to charge is what's going to come into play. So
The
they're
fees that
already
the SEC is going to charge, you mean?
no, the fees of Bitcoin, I mean, of BlackRock and Fidelities and all the people
Right.
that are going to offer these ETFs. There's a fee that is associated with that the customer has to pay.
Got you.
Right. So the
Yeah.
cheaper the fee. So that's what's going to make it, competitive between the companies offering these ETFs is who's charging the least amount of fees. And so far, six companies that have filed for the ETF have announced their fees. And right now, Fidelity is the one with the lowest fees. So that's if they're talking
Well, yeah, but
about
Fidelity is
this,
also like legit the most,
right?
like, isn't Fidelity the biggest like
BlackRock is.
BlackRock is?
BlackRock's like 10, 12 trillion. Fidelity's only like 3 trillion.
Geez, I think you're right. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That does make sense.
But if they're already talking about the fees and publicizing what they're going to be charging, they're trying to get a competitive jump on the market and attract as much business as possible, because the ETF itself is going to be the same price across the board because it's based off the Bitcoin price, right?
Right.
So that's not going to change. ETF is going to be the same price. So what comes into play for these major companies, because they're not doing this not to make money.
No.
Right. It is what they're going to charge these fees. So and they're talking about it. So they're prepping, getting ready. So I really think, next week we're going to get approval of a ETF.
Can you believe that, dude? Can you believe that? Like, just think about that for a second.
Right.
You and I have been talking about this for 6 years, 7 years.
Oh my God.
That's how long we've been talking about the spot Bitcoin ETF. And I remember you and I talking, honestly, that's when I first learned about, like, I know that there's a lot of people out there that have known about all these massive, just massive trading. I'm sorry, it's still early in the morning. I'm still trying to work on this all in my brain. But like, I didn't know what BlackRock was. Like, I didn't know what Fidelity was. I didn't know what any of that stuff was.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago. And then but you know how I learned about what those things were was specifically the philosophy of a Bitcoin ETF. That's what got me starting to like look into that stuff and understand what that stuff was. To be
So
completely
like
honest.
in 2017, it wasn't even talked. That wasn't even the banks. Everybody thought, nah, this is a, you know, a pump and dump thing. They
But they
didn't
submitted, and I'm pretty sure BlackRock submitted an application to get approved for a Bitcoin ETF in 2017 or
really,
18. Yeah. Oh, I believe so. Yeah.
huh?
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not,
that's why it
I'm
all came out. Either that or that it was like a wicked rumor. Like, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I just remember just being like, what the frig is that? Like, what does that even mean? And then everybody started talking about it. It was a big deal. Like, it was a really big deal. So I don't know. I think I think I think that this coming week
huh?
is going to be one of the biggest, most historical moments in crypto. Like it's going to
Uh,
be like
it's
just
going to
a
be huge,
it's going to be massive. Like I'm so pumped about it. I really am.
right? But you know
But
what? I mean, we could still see a dip, but yeah, I'm pumped just to know that the ETF is coming because I know what it's going to do.
the ETF is coming no matter what. And you know what? It's like she said. There is no way around it for the SEC. They have got to deal with the reality that this is going to continue to be a pain in their ass
They have to,
over and over and
especially.
over
So
and over. And you know who's going to be a major pain in the ass for them? You know who it's going to be? I believe
who?
it's going to be the IRS and all other government tax regulators. Because what's happening is the more that you actually get into legitimate, pools like BlackRock, where there's literally, billions and billions and billions and billions of trillions actually of dollars that are being managed. If it's easier if the paper trail is easier for the IRS to keep track of where people are actually putting their money, that's bigger tax dollars that are
Wait,
coming
wait.
in.
Well, I mean, I just gotta say, the IRS wants to keep it simple. Okay,
Well, do you know what I'm saying?
I know, but I just thought that was funny. IRS
Well,
and
I know,
simple.
I know. There's
The
nothing
tax
simple
code is
about the
so
IRS.
complicated.
But right now it's way too confusing.
Oh,
Do you know how many people are getting away with like you and I are good old boys. We pay our taxes when it comes to crypto. But like there's a lot of people out there that say F
that
that.
that haven't
Like
yet.
yeah, that haven't
But
and are going to continue to try not to. And I'm telling you guys, that is going to give you jail time if you guys don't take that
I've
seriously.
I've definitely separated how I'm holding my crypto. I got crypto that I'm holding. It's long term, so that means I won't sell it under for less than a year. I'll keep it for at least a year because that turns into a long-term capital gains, which is a lot cheaper of a tax rate than short-term, which is
Yeah.
short-term capital gains is anything that you trade less than
Oh, I've been
anything you hold
primarily
for less than a
focusing
year
on
and you trade, you either have, that's short-term capital gains and that's a much higher tax rate.
oh, 100%. Like I've been I don't know. There's a lot of bags of crypto that I have that I specifically do not touch simply because I like the long-term capital gains taxes so much more. Like, and the reality is like because I'm not like this professional like trader, like I'm just accumulating. That's all I give a crap about is
Yeah.
accumulate because the reality is that I believe that crypto is going to be a multi-trillion dollar market. And I mean, it already has been, but
So,
it's going to be a 10 to 15 to 20 trillion dollar market. It's going to surpass, in my opinion, because it's digital, it will surpass the market cap of gold. And that's just inevitable in my opinion. Which
so
by
I
the way, did we
heard,
actually tell everybody that we're not financial advisors?
and this is not financial advice.
That's right. Yeah.
Right back at you, brother.
Yeah, just wanted to make
So,
everybody
but
clear
I
there.
heard another thing from a group I follow that they were talking about, and I don't know the truth about it, but with the ETF and everything, they're projecting that Bitcoin's market cap alone could get up as high as $8 to $10 trillion.
Yes. Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
that is just Bitcoin. Like I did the math. It was like Bitcoin. So at the peak of this bull market, Bitcoin's price would be around $450,000.
If
Right?
that doesn't put it into perspective, I don't know what does.
Right. So
That's exactly, yeah, exactly.
so I
I don't
mean,
know, man. It's like it's gonna explode this week, I think. Now, granted, here's the thing. As far as TA goes, it is very possible that all of this growth that we've had over the past few months, starting in November or whenever it was, September, geez, I don't even know. It might have been this summer. All of this growth that we've had could have very well been the rumor of the ETF. And once the ETF launches, don't be surprised if the charts don't go flying up to the moon, because sometimes that happens. Everyone's
But yeah,
buying the
usually you
rumor.
buy the rumor and you sell the news.
I don't know if we'd necessarily sell the news in this particular case. I
I
think it
don't
would
think
just
we
be
would.
going sideways, basically, essentially, because we've really pumped a lot, so I don't know.
We have. I mean, since, I mean, so, I mean, the last year, well, yeah. So I'll just share the screen real quick, just to show the growth of Bitcoin the last year, from where it bottomed out to where, here we are. This was pretty much, we'll just call it right here, January, December 22, January of 23. Since that time, Bitcoin's done 190% gain,
Yeah, that's insane.
right?
Insane. Yep.
So, yeah. And it's going to go, and now it's just getting ready to take off. So, of course, we're
Yeah.
going to have some little downswings. It's got to come back down and retest levels. So, but that was the monthly chart. But I mean, so that's where if you go into like the day chart, you'll see these dips, and the lower time frames you use for your wicks. Like if I go to 8 hour, you can see it be more pronounced. But on the daily chart, you can see the price is just riding the 20-day moving average. I mean, we had wick. So this big wick, we could see January 1st and 2nd. Look at that freaking nice pump up, right? That was sweet.
Oh,
Made
that's,
another,
yeah.
made a new higher high. So, but then and then the bottom fell out, but look what it did though. It just shot down, hit the 50-day moving average and said, nope, I'm going back up.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So the 50-day gave some good support, and then it got, then it just played with the 20-day, played with the 20-day. Now we're riding up above the 20-day. So that's on the day chart. If you zoom in a little more, so I'll go to a 4-hour chart. Right, here's the 4-hour chart. It looks a little different, on the 4-hour chart, the 20-day, I mean, it wicked down to the 200, and then the 200
Yeah.
gave support, and then it worked its way back up, and then it fought a little battle on the 50-day moving average, and kind of won that battle. Now it's back up testing the 20. So to me, might have a little bull flag forming here on the shorter term 4-hour.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
Right.
it makes sense.
And if you want to, I mean, you can go to where you're looking at a minute. People will use this if they're like trading, it bounces up 1%. They're in and out. Who knows why, but you can see this is a minute chart. So each candle wick is 1 minute, right? So this is from this is probably standard whatever the international time or whatever, because it says 10:43 a.m. to 12:25. So this is like 2 hours of data right here.
Yeah.
Right. But you can see right now it's freaking crashing. Right. It's blown right through its 20, 50, and 200-day moving average, but it's based on a much shorter time frame. It's busted through that.
Right.
Right. So looking at this chart, I mean, this would probably go back down. We'll probably see, Bitcoin go back to the mid 43, like 43,000, probably could hit back down to like 43,655 maybe. I don't think it's going to go lower than this wick. So it could probably go back down to somewhere around this area, or who knows? That's going on this minute chart. But you go back up to a bigger time frame. This is the 8-hour chart.
Oh, hey, Glenn, how you doing, man? We just got So that's an interesting question. Glenn wants to know if he thinks that he said, do you guys think Bitcoin is worth more than Apple?
So right now, if you just look at the total market cap, I think Apple has a larger total valuation
Well, of course,
worth
yeah, it's huge.
than Bitcoin. But I guarantee you that Bitcoin's valuation and worth is going to way surpass Apple here in the
Well,
next year to 18 months.
what's the market cap of Apple right now?
I don't know. You want to look that up real quick?
Yeah, look it up. Why not? Who cares? I actually, because I'll bet you, I'll bet you that gold is bigger than Apple. Actually, I could be wrong about that.
What's Apple's ticker? I'm sure if I just type
AP,
Apple in.
yeah, I don't know. Getting us into the stocks away from the crypto.
What is it? APP? Oh, yeah. The PPL. Right? Apple.
Yeah.
So, what's its market cap? I got to look that up differently. I'll just do a search. Here, I'm going to
I
stop
mean,
sharing
of
my
course,
screen.
gold is like a much larger market cap than Apple. Like, you know,
So,
I think the answer, in my opinion, just not even looking at it quite yet, Glenn, I would actually say, yeah, like, or at least inevitably.
Apple market cap today.
Hey, while you're looking that up, dude, I'll be right
So,
back.
so Apple market cap is 2.82 trillion. So right now, Bitcoin's market cap is what?
It's like,
Probably 850 billion to,
yeah,
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 850 billion. So right now, Apple is, a little over 3 times more than Bitcoin.
yeah, but it's
But I
inevitably,
guarantee,
it'll
I
pass it this
feel,
year.
huh?
It'll pass it this year.
Possibly.
I think it's very
Yeah.
possible.
So it is probably a strong possibility that Bitcoin's growth and increase in price will put it larger than Apple. So I think it could be 2 to 3 times larger than Apple at its peak. This bull market. I think someday we're going to have $1 million Bitcoin. So that would put Bitcoin at a $21 trillion valuation.
Well, Glenn, let me put it this way, dude. Like, so the estimated market cap for gold is roughly between, I would say, 10 to 15 trillion. And I
Um,
actually, as a matter of fact, it's got to be somewhere between that. So 10 to 15 trillion for a gold market cap. All right. I believe Bitcoin is going to match that and surpass it in the future
so
because
you're pretty spot on. It's 13.78 trillion.
perfect. Exactly. So the point is that Bitcoin, whether it, whenever it be, it could be 2030, 2035, who knows? But the point is that I think because it's digital and it's already been proving itself over the past, well, geez, 15 years now. We officially had Bitcoin's birthday like last week.
That's right.
Happy birthday, Bitcoin. 15 years and we're already pushing, over $1 trillion. It's already been proven to push over $1 trillion. It's only going to adopt itself more. If the spot Bitcoin ETFs are going to cause it to create more trust in the market, this thing is going to go, in my opinion, past the gold market. And when that happens, yeah, of course. And I don't think that I think it's going to leave Apple behind. I don't think Apple's going to continue to follow along with it necessarily. So that's just my opinion and prediction. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I'd actually be curious. What is anybody's thoughts on it? We got like 5 people hanging out with us right now. What do you guys think about
I mean, my
Bitcoin's
thoughts is
future?
I think Bitcoin's gonna, compete with gold up in that level for a market cap.
Yeah, of course.
So it's that's what so I can see, it hitting, you know, I, f- we have to go back and see what I said it was, but I think I was saying, well, I was thinking the whole market cap, but I think it's very possible Bitcoin could get to 5, 8, 10 trillion dollar market cap this bull market.
This bull market?
I think so.
You think
I,
it's
well, I
possible?
think I said my price was $207,000, right? That's what I thought Bitcoin was going to peak. And now
Wait, hold
people are
on.
like, and I was
Hold
high
on.
back then. Now
Hold on.
people are blowing my prediction
do,
out of the water, right?
hold
But
on.
so if Bitcoin is 207,000, and I'm just going to say there's, well, 19,750,000 of them in circulation, right?
Yeah.
That would put it at a $4 trillion market cap,
Yeah.
right? So I was saying probably 10 trillion the whole market, total market cap, but
Hold on. Let's take a look at this right now.
it could be double that. Yeah, so
All right. So
400,000, holy cow.
let's say, all right, we got the calculator up. So let's say that, well, current price of Bitcoin right now, let's just say it's 45,000. Let's just do that. Okay.
Yeah,
So you think it's going to go to what? 200 and what?
7,000.
207.
Yeah.
Okay. So 207
And the more that we get into
divided
this
by
bull market, I think
45.
that's a low number.
So that's a 4.6x.
Yep.
Okay. What's its current total market cap right now?
855 billion.
855.
Billion.
Okay.
That's some zeros there. Keep
1, 2,
going.
3. 1, 2.
3, and then 3 more.
What the
There
F?
we go. So that's pretty roughly
Three-
4 trillion.
Yeah.
3.9.
3.9 billion.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's just Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So now
That's crazy, dude. If
you-
that's true, that's crazy.
right? So, I mean, if that's 4 trillion, that to me would put the alt market probably around at least 5 to 6 trillion. There's a $10 trillion market cap.
Yeah.
So,
Glenn says, I just don't like Apple. He thinks it's overvalued. And then he said, I think gold should be worth
Hey-
more
hey,
compared
Glenn,
to the.
I don't own any Apple either.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm not a fan
I
of the
mean,
company.
I'm currently broadcasting
Well,
with an
I
Apple
mean,
right now.
Yeah, they've done great things, but I'm just, I don't know.
I have their
I
products.
just use it because I got sucked into it. And the only Apple product I have is the phone because I got sucked into it because of kids.
I got sucked into it because it's just a generational thing for me. But so he
Yeah.
thinks that gold should be worth more than compared to the dollar, but it is manipulated. And then he said, "Oh yes," and then he made fun of you, Brian. He said 207,000 exactly. Laugh out loud. No, I don't think he's making fun of you. He just,
Well, you
but
know
yes,
something? When I do trades, I don't put the exact number like that. I'd do like $207,148.53.
supposedly
I'll
Brian
go
thinks it's going to
exact
be
when I do trades, but
207,000. Listen,
that was so that was my real number, Glenn. That 207,000, that was just my generic, quick number.
if Bitcoin tops off at 207,000 exactly, if that's what it tops off at before it goes back into a bear market again, I think you will probably go down in history as being the greatest predictor of all time.
Oh,
That's
no,
just what.
I need to do exact $207,133.88.
Wow.
So
And it's going to happen in this bull run? Is that what you're saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
No, we know you're not making fun of us. I'm making fun of Brian.
No, yeah, no, we're all lighthearted.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
people.
throw you under the bus there, Glenn.
No, it's all good, Glenn.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, dude. All right. Hey, listen, can you look at a chart?
Yeah.
I need to go talk with my daughter. I'm taking my daughter on a date today.
Oh,
So
excellent.
yes. But
So yeah,
I gotta
I'll
go
look,
talk with her. So
what will I pull up?
dude, pull up oh geez, what should we look at right now? Let's take a look at
I'm
we've
looking
already-
at TIA,
look at TIA. Yeah, everybody loves it.
right?
Yeah.
Because TIA, we all love that stock. We were talking about stock, crypto. So here's TIA, Celestia. Full disclosure, Cody and I both hold some of this. We actually did a live buy, as some of you that have seen our videos have seen. So we bought down around this area, $2.50, and you can see what it did. It just went up, up, and up. So anyway, we got up to like $15, and then we had this downward turn. It came down. It's just bouncing off the 20-day moving average, testing that as support. I actually did buy more of this one down right around $12 in this area, and then it shot back up. But I definitely like this coin. I believe in it. It's just a new technology for layer one blockchain. They use a modular um, type of process. So much faster, much more scalable, can do a lot more. But anyway, really like this chart, this coin. You can see it's a new coin. It just came out this last Halloween. So, and it came out at like launched at $2. So it's doing great things. And it got listed on Coinbase almost immediately in all the major exchanges. So you can see right now it's at $15, but yeah, its all-time low was $2.08. And that was October 31st when it first launched. And since then, it's up 620%, at $15.02. It did its all-time high. We just hit it in the last week, which was $17.13, which was on the 5th of January. So the market's been going crazy this last week. A lot of volatility, a lot of excitement in the market with upcoming ETFs. Hopefully, I'll be curious on how many they launch. I think that's the better question, because I think there's 12 ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, that have been filed. So I think the question should more be how many are going to get approved and how many are going to get denied, instead of if any are going to get approved. So that's what I think the better question would be. So TIA is looking good. Another one that I like that's actually been doing good, I haven't really done a video on it, but it's Lido, which is Lido, which is provides liquidity for the staking of Ethereum. It's actually fairly new coin itself. So it was just in this sideways channel. You can see from, just roughly $2.50 to, $2 from November for pretty much 2 months, a month and a half anyway. It went sideways. And now you can see it's had a breakout, even with the market that has been going down. With this dip, I mean, Bitcoin went down 10%. A lot of coins went down 10, 20% or more. This coin just said, all right, it's time for me to, wake up. And it's just been going crazy. So there's lots of coins out there that, even though people are like, oh, we've had this dip in the market, or the market's going down, it's crashing, whatever, it's not. This is healthy movement. So definitely, but being crypto, it's a much more volatile market. So the movement is, instead of 2 or 3%, we might see 10 to 12%. It's a lot more volatile. So you can see, like, if I go by market cap, just the top 100 coins, just in the top 100 coins. So we know the last 7 days have been crazy. So we could look at the last 7 days and we can see these are the top 100 coins, top 100 in the market cap. These coins have had, you can see the Celestia network. I don't know what it is, 41%. But here's Celestia, TIA. In the last week, that's up 26%. Arbitrum up 22%. ICP up 19.7%. Osmos up 17. Osmosis up 17%. So these are the last 7 days. We have all these coins that have still made some great gains, from let's see, Filecoin up 3.2%, Injective up 4%. So overall, the week, it hasn't been too bad. If you look at the 24-hour, you can see they're still coins. I mean, even the market's dipped in the last 24 hours overall. There's still coins that have had some gain. So I think the market's very healthy. So anyway, Cody's back.
Okay. Hey,
And
so did you see what Glenn told you?
No, I did not.
He said if he said if you hit that number, I'm gonna send you $500 in ICP.
Excellent.
So you better hope that you hit that number because you're going to be $500 richer, Brian.
Which number? Oh, the Bitcoin number.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Bitcoin
the
number.
exact. All right, Glenn, I'm going to hold you
He's
to
got,
that.
I got a few $100 on the side waiting for a pullback. You guys think now would be the pullback I've been waiting for? Or what are your thoughts on the alt market pulling back more?
All right, I'm going to look at the alt market here.
We'll look at the altcoin market.
Uh,
This is a good question.
yes. Remember, this is just my opinions. I'm no expert or financial guy. I'm just teaching myself and learning and just sharing my thoughts and views. So anyway, let me share my screen.
On the daily, I think it's not necessarily the most pretty thing, but
So here's the total too. So that's the altcoin market to include, excuse me, to include Ethereum. So, and I'll look at the altcoin market without Ethereum here in a minute. So trend is definitely up, but we've had some correction. This is the daily chart. So every daily candle wicks. So for me, looking at this, and I'm going to try to get a little more. Actually, I'm going to go to the month weekly real quick. So with the weekly, zooming way out to the weekly, you can see we've definitely broken through all the moving averages. All the moving averages are lining up in the order 20, 50, and the 200. We had strong growth, as we know, for the lot from October, the last 3 months of 2023. And now to me, it's making its correction now. So to me right now, I don't think we're going to go much lower. I mean, some catastrophic event could happen where, yeah, I could see us, if something like that happens, say like the COVID thing or the FTX thing, something like that, but you can't predict that. You only can best guess. I could see the market going back down to, 700 billion, right where this wick went down, right here. Right. I could see that hitting again, but I think it's more likely. So I could see that hitting again, or I could see it going lower if they do come out next week and said all ETFs are denied.
mm,
We're going to see that. I think that would come down. What's the likelihood of that? They're saying maybe
I want
like
an
2%.
exact percentage likelihood.
They're saying like 2% likelihood, because last thing I heard was a 98% chance that they were going to get approved. So
Wow.
anyway, but if they don't, yes, I think we
gonna
would
look
see
this
it
up.
come back down to like 650, 700, 650 to 660 billion total market cap. But I think what we're going to see over the next few days is it's just going to go sideways in this range right in here. And then once we get news of which way the ETFs go, it's either going to stay sidewards and go up. If they get approved, it's going to definitely go up. If they get denied, I think it could be. So, but in overall, this is a good area to buy in. I mean, you could, if I go to the daily chart, I mean, full disclosure, I bought some cryptos all this week, a few different cryptos. I was just looking at adding to my portfolio. So I was looking at my portfolios and just was finding the ones that were down the most, because it's coins I believe in. So, and I was putting buy orders in for those just to add to my holdings. So looking at the daily on the total too, and it's trending down right now. I could see it going down to this area, hitting the 50-day moving average again, which would be like, how much would that be? Another drop. So right now we're at 745. So, and if we go down to the 50, that's another 4% drop. That is possible. But I'm looking at buying. I've been buying all in this area. So overall in the long term,
But it would bounce
how
off
much
of that.
how much does it matter if you bought, if this 750 billion market cap goes to like I'm thinking six, say it 10x's and goes to 7.5 trillion. I don't think this little difference from 725 to 750 billion is going to matter much
Yeah.
overall. But I'm probably like you. I like to try to buy in at the lowest price. I don't market buy. So you could, and that's where you want to zoom in. You can zoom in closer to see what the short term is looking like. So if you look at this short term one, which is a 4-hour candle wick, it came all the way down to the 200-day moving average. Now it's stopped, right? It's kind of stopped there. It's using it. 200-day moving average is being used as support right now. I would, on this, I would wait and see what a couple more candle wicks come out, see if they start to bounce up a little bit. So, but that's a good sign that it's, that 200-day moving average is support on the 4-hour candle wicks. I mean, if you want to go, I used to do a lot with the two hour. So me, the 2-hour doesn't look nice, but that's the short term. So it doesn't look nice, but we know the trend is up. So all the moving averages have kind of got all mixed up, the 20 being down at the bottom, just had a death cross with the 50 and the 200. So, but
I think
I
right
really
now,
think,
Brian, I think right now the weekly and the monthly are the most important things to be looking at when it comes to this
yeah,
conversation.
and the
Because,
daily.
well, the daily's
too.
important. It definitely is, yeah. But the reality is that right now the daily's looking not so hot at the moment right now. And I think like it's very possible this thing could get pushed back just a little bit. But hold on, before we dive into that really quick, I wanted to show you this. So this is because I decided, well, let's look it up and find out,
All right.
So the spot Bitcoin ETF likelihood is what I'm getting at here.
Oh,
So it
okay.
says, surprisingly, only 39% of advisors believe that the spot Bitcoin ETF will be approved in 2024. By contrast, Bloomberg ETF analysis pegs the likelihood of a January approval at 90%.
Well, that goes in hand with the audio you shared with us earlier.
Right, exactly. And 88% of advisors, I'm going to say that again, advisors, interest in purchasing Bitcoin are waiting until after the spot Bitcoin ETF is approved. But this is so the word advisors is used a couple of times here. So 39% of advisors believe a spot coin BTF will be approved in 2024. By contrast, Bloomberg ETF analysis pegs the likelihood of January. So that's the 90%.
Right.
But
And the woman said there was like 70% of advisors don't even know about crypto, don't even deal with crypto.
right, but the other thing that's really exciting though about that is that it says that 88% of advisors' interest in purchasing Bitcoin, specifically purchasing Bitcoin, are going to be after the Bitcoin ETF. So the confidence that is pushed into the market to purchase cryptocurrency is driven by advisors, actual advisors. And when you have actual advisors, especially where it's saying 88%, that's a very high number. I don't know exactly what that means, like how many advisors that actually is.
But it sounds really good.
It sounds great. It sounds pretty great to me, So I'm like that, there actually is more than likely going to be not only an approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF, but it is going to be driving the price even more. It's not just the rumor that we've been watching or feeling. It's probably going to go much more than that. But yeah, and this is all potentially going to happen next week. So I guess to answer your question, Glenn, in a very, very roundabout way, is if we get approved next week, yeah, I guess it all depends on when you want to pull out, because the reality is that crypto, in our opinions, I think is going to be going up tremendously, where this number that we're looking at right now, 45,000 Bitcoin, everyone's going to be looking at that as if, the same way that we're looking at Bitcoin being under 1,000 right now,
I mean, I did buy a little more Bitcoin too.
Because I think Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million someday.
I bought a little more Bitcoin. What price did I think on that first tip, I'm looking it up. I forgot what price. So I did buy a little more Bitcoin. I was like, I'll buy a little more Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Glenn thinks it's already approved and it just hasn't been released to the public yet, basically. And
I think there could be some truth to that. Definitely.
Well, yeah. People know there's always somebody that knows the answer.
Yes. Yep.
But I don't know, man. Hey, so for the people watching, if you guys haven't liked, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, that would mean the world to us because we want to put out more content for you guys and continue to build this channel. We also would love to, at some point, Glenn, dude, do you want to come on a live with us sometime, Glenn? Because you obviously hang out with us the most.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool to have Glenn on.
Yeah.
We got to
Let me
plan that
guess.
out. We'll do it on like a weeknight. But I think, are you in the UK? I can't remember where you are. We got to figure out our time zone differences.
My schedule's all over the map, so I'm up early. Most of the time I'm like up really early in the morning. But then by like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I'm wiped out,
Yeah.
go to sleep. But I mean I'm getting up like 3:30, 4 o'clock sometimes. But my
Yeah,
regular is
exactly.
like probably 4:30. I'm up.
Yeah.
And the most productive that first part of the day from the time I get up to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So,
You're in
but
Nebraska? Nice. We're
Nebraska,
we're in the Northeast. We got Brian's. Well, I don't know if Brian wants to
oh,
reveal where he lives, but
I
I'm in Maine.
I have some cousins that live in Kansas, not on the Nebraska border. I'm in New Hampshire. We're all Cody and I are New Englanders.
True New England is.
Yeah.
But we're not massholes though.
No. Shh.
I love anybody that's watching that's
or another one we
Massachusetts.
used to call them when I was a kid. I remember my parents would say, "Yeah, Taxachusetts,"
Massachusetts.
because they have a lot of taxes. You know,
Well, the
where
thing
in
that's
New
nice about
Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
New
you guys
Hampshire
don't have a
doesn't have a
sales tax.
state. We don't have a state income tax. We don't have a sales tax in
Yeah,
New
it's so
Hampshire.
nice.
Granted, our property taxes are a little higher, but not as high as people say they are.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, this last year, yeah, maybe they are. They did go up.
We got some bears, we have some moose, some deer. We
I've
got a
had that
huge
all go through.
snowstorm coming.
I had all that go through my yard. I've had black bears in my yard, moose, deer.
Everything. It's
Believe
crazy.
I don't know anybody out there that knows animals and knows what a fisher cat is. They're supposed to be a pretty fierce. It's in the weasel family, pretty fierce animal, and they've been known to hunt cats. They'll eat people's cats. They'll catch them, and that's like what they'll chase. I have a 10-pound cat that she likes to go outside during the day. I looked out my window one day. I see two black things running across my yard in the backyard. And I look and they stop. One of them goes up a tree and one's at the bottom of the tree. It was my cat chasing the fisher cat up that tree. And not the other way around. Oh,
That's
it blew
crazy.
my mind. I'm like,
So
wow,
crazy.
my cat's a badass cat, man.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, and I got her. I'm like, get over here, because all I could think about was this fisher cat killing her and making dinner out of her.
Oh my
But
gosh.
she didn't think that, and the fisher cat didn't think that because it was up in the tree, and she's at the base of the tree looking up, and the fisher cat's looking down. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh, dude.
yeah. So that's my
Yeah.
little cat story.
Yeah, there's a lot of corn in Nebraska. I believe that. I'm actually originally from Indiana, so I understand the life of corn. Corn everywhere.
The life of corn.
The life of corn. Yeah,
That could be a movie name,
could be. There's Children of the Corn.
right?
I feel like I was in that movie unknowingly. But yeah, anyways, all right. So, hey, take a look at the Ethereum chart really quick. I'm
Okay.
kind of curious about what that's doing. And I only got like 5 minutes because I got to take my
Yeah,
daughter on a
I
date.
have.
She's so excited to go on a date. I think we're gonna do breakfast, and then after that, I'm gonna take her to like probably this jump park thing where she can jump on trampolines and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yep. I've
Yeah.
taken my kids to that when they were younger. All right, so share screen. Get that going.
But yeah, Glenn, we should have you on sometime if you ever want to do a Zoom call with us. We can talk charts and crypto and get into it. We want to
So-
start doing that with all kinds of people. We want if you guys want to jump on one of these Zoom calls with us so we can just talk crypto, you're totally welcome.
So here's Ethereum's daily chart, and just looking at probably the last 6 months or so. Here, it's just going up like all the other ones, but then it's again doing a correction. The daily chart, it's below the 20-day moving average. But if you look at it, it is making new higher lows each day. So I think it just needs to get back above the 20-day moving average, but it's possible it could come back down here and test the 50-day moving average again, definitely. But I think again, we're going to just see the cryptos over the next few days, just ride this channel. Where right now, I think we're on the low side of the channel. For say for Ethereum, the low side of the channel is 2220, and I'd say the high side of the channel is like, 2378, or just call it, there's $150 swing here. And I think it's just going to stay in that channel for the next week until, we might see these little bumps up and down, but it's going to stay sideways until we find out about the ETF. And I think all of them are kind of doing that in general. If you look at Bitcoin and things like that, Bitcoin are going to probably stay in its, probably 43.5 to 45. But yeah, that's what I think. I think Ethereum is just going to be going sideways as well.
Now, here's a question for you. What are your thoughts on an Ethereum ETF?
Well, how many people have filed for it? It's not happening with this batch, but there's, I think, 7 or 9 different companies that have filed now for Ethereum ETFs.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to happen after Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got to go first.
I think so. I think Bitcoin is going to be the catalyst. It's gonna, why not Ethereum then? If Bitcoin gets approved.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe at the end of the day, there's going to be 10 different cryptos that have ETFs associated with them. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
we'll have to wait and see.
Cointelegraph says, either ETF likely coming as the SEC. Let's see. According to the Bloomberg ETF analysis, the U.S. securities regulator implies that either a commodity when it's Ethereum futures ETFs. Just trying to see if they actually say anything about it. The United States and Securities and Exchange Commission implies accepted either as a commodity when it appears that Ethereum futures exchange trades funds last year, meaning that the spot ETF, it's likely
because
for this year.
Because they already have a futures exchange traded fund. So.
Right. So it's likely set for this year, according to the Bloomberg ETF analysis, James.
So I bet you it'd be like third or fourth quarter of this year then.
Yeah.
Probably the end of third quarter, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think. And then what will that do? Then that's just going to drive it. So we're going to have Bitcoin ETF. We're going to have the halving. And then we're going to have Ethereum ETF all in 2024.
That would be insane.
Here we come,
2024,
$20 trillion market cap coming.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Oh,
we could be at 10 trillion by the end of the year.
Oh, dude. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. It's very exciting to think about, but at the same time, I'm like, am I way off base saying these like astronomical numbers?
I don't want to kill anybody's mojo here, but I seriously think that Bitcoin is going to be 90,000 at the peak of the market for this bull run.
Cody, I'm sorry, man.
I gotta be a bear.
You are way off. It's gonna be 6 figures, 90,000,
which is amazing, by the way.
90,000,
even if it does hit 90,000.
Yeah, so you think it's gonna double from its price right now and not even double its last all-time high? So last time all-time high is 69,064.
So okay, fine. So let's say double that. So 120.
So
okay, no. Here's a better analysis.
That's where I got my $207,133.88.
Right.
I multiply. I did like.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. Okay, hold on a second.
So it's gonna.
So the top of 2017 was 20,000 roughly, right? So
yeah.
So 20, 40, 60. So that's a 3x for the one after that, basically. So you're looking at a 3x from 60, so 6, 12, 18. So it really okay. I'll tell you what.
That's where
I'll double mine. I'll double mine. It's going to be 185,000. That's what I think at the top of the bull market. 185. Yeah, because that's a triple. That's a triple.
Exactly.
Okay, 185, 23, 23.
That's right. All right.
No, better yet. 185, 24, 24.
All right. BTC Cody, Crypto Cody, just put it out there.
Yeah.
So,
and then on the low end, it's going to be like 90.
so
Something
my
like that.
$207,133.88, that's my low end.
Jeez, crow, man.
So my high end
Yeah.
will be 418,088.02. I don't know.
Dude, you're
That's
crazy.
the high end. So
All
we're
right.
going to be between there.
All right.
All right.
Well, you guys heard it from us. Hey, guys, if you could all please like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification. That would mean the world to us. We got videos that are going to be coming out this week. We want to know what you want us to put out. What are some coin reviews that you want us to check out? Is there any cryptos that you would like to share with us that you're investing in that we haven't heard of? We really we love low market cap coins and checking out different ones.
We do.
Really into that stuff. So I don't know about you guys. We're going to be putting out some probably Maple Dent videos. We have, so we got Maple Finance,
Atom.
we got Dent, we got Atom, we got TIA. Geez, what else do we have? WCFG or CFG, either or, same thing. You know, we got, these are kind of some of the coins that we're hyper focused on personally. But we want to put out other stuff. If you guys want us to check it out, just write it in the comments after we post this video. And also, if you guys want to be on a live with us, put it in the comments there. If you guys would like to be on a live with us, we'd love to have you guys on. And we got plenty of awesome things going on here. Glenn has one final thing. Internet computer. Yeah. Brian, do you think we can put out a video on internet computer?
All right. I'll do a little bit of research. ICP.
Yeah. We'll put out a video for Glenn on ICP.
ICP video.
But
got it.
Hey, you guys mention it and we'll put it out. So
all right.
But I got to take my daughter on a date, so
you have a great weekend. Everybody have a great weekend.
Everybody
play in some snow tomorrow. Looking forward to it. First storm of the year.
Sliding.
Woohoo!
Car accidents. Here we go.
All right.
Have an
Everybody
awesome
have a
day.
great weekend. Talk to you later, brother.